Okay. So let's keep the chat window here so that we know what's happening. Right, 1:30 on the clock, and good afternoon. Good to see you all. So that's it. More of you coming in. Yeah, good. All of you have filled in that form that I gave you, right? There was a Google form. Any one of you who haven't done that yet? You haven't any reason you're waiting for? Huh? You haven't got any communication. Same reason? Okay. And third reason? There's one, two. Somebody else didn't fill in. Which reason? First, second, you create your own. Now, which is the reason? That seems genuine, right? Okay. Fourth, who did? Anybody else? Anybody else who didn't fill in? Any reasons for filling in? Can you think of reasons? No, right? And they'll be taking the joke too much. Okay, good. And guys online, can you hear me well? I guess so, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll have to take a while because he's told me that I'm supposed to use this only at this side. Okay. Anyway, I'll realize how to manage it. Okay. Let's see how it works. Hey, guys, please go ahead and mute yourself. Please mute yourself. It doesn't work here. Yeah. Okay, no problem. We'll take care of it. Okay, this is, let's start the class, but this is just one declaration that I'm going to put on just to let anybody know that I get some sources in and they're all acknowledging from wherever I got the sources from. Some basic rules. I guess you all can see the slide well, right? Some basic rules is that the guys online, please maintain your Zoom etiquette. You guys know it very well. You've been doing that for over 2 years now. And what's the second one? You've chosen this course at your will. Yeah. So your parents didn't point the gun at you and say, like they did in nursery and school, and maybe you liked arts, but they pointed the gun and said, you'll get a better bride or a bridegroom if you do engineering. But nothing like that, right? You chose it because on your own will. So make sure that you learn. Understood, right? I mean, the basics. Attended in class is mandatory. Well, I think up to you to decide. Fourth one, completing assignments and submitting them on time is a must. There's just no rule. And especially when it comes to my classes, I don't have the powers to change the dates. Maybe the dean has the power to change dates for his class, but I don't have the power. So you know how to manage it. And you're advised to go and answer your phone, be it a call or text message. Yeah, I'm just saying that I know all of you are working. So you might get a call or you might want to take it. You're most welcome to get up and take the call outside. Nothing wrong. Okay, but don't take the call inside the classroom. Yeah, you are expected to answer when your name is mentioned online. We'll get there. There are no prescribed books, only recommended books, fixed syllabus, and only course outline. Okay, you get what it is. This is a management course. We intend to create better managers. I mean, you read it and I'll do it like that. Okay. Bit about myself. If you wouldn't get my name till now, my name is Ramesh Nagasamudram. I'm not a full-time faculty, meaning that I have a reasonably active life Monday to Friday. I am presently co-founder and vice president of a company called Aniara Communications. We have an office in Bangalore and USA. Those
So
of you, yeah.
We have challenge hearing you because
yeah, your voice is just breaking in and out, sir.
Yeah, it's good that you brought it up early because I have a tendency to walk around. So you just go ahead and let me know once you lose signal or I'm not able to. Now it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Now it's very fine. So good. So I one more request to those. Eventually, I'll get to know the faces here. I mean, I know those who didn't submit their Google Forms. I'll not only remember their faces, I'll also remember this roll. What is the roll number or whatever. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so whenever you speak online, guys, just introduce yourself so that I know over time who is speaking, right? So let's try to make up for the fact that you're not in the classroom, but we'll make it as interactive as possible. So back to where I am. So this is what I do. I'm part of a startup. It's not really a startup. It's well over 15 years. And we are in the business of satellite and satellite communication. Looks like an interesting field. But then like in every business, you have competition, you have customers, you happy customers, unhappy customers, loyal customers, all that stuff. Being a satellite company, we have global interest. We serve largely the Asian and African markets, but we have partners in business there. Before I started off on this journey, I've been wearing all kinds of hats. I'm sure given that I'm just over 60, you know that there's a long story that I can tell about myself. So I've been an hardcore RF and microwave engineer, became a programmer, you can read all that, right? So I've been doing all kinds of things like that. I've been on both sides of the discussion table, meaning that I've sat down in meetings where I make a decision for and on behalf of the company that I represent, or I've also been on the other side of the table trying to give, sell, discuss with somebody who's going to buy on behalf of that. So I know how it is to be on both sides of the table, meaning you're probably like Jadeja, you know how to bowl and also do a bit of a batting, right? So what have I been doing? I've been a user, like come. I've been an installer. I've been a technician in my initial parts of life. I feel the lighting is a bit low. It might tend to make you sleepy, right? No? Okay. So I also been a qualifier advisor. I know you guys can read the slide faster than just to let you know. And the products and services that I have been interacting with are just a few dollars. I used to work on semiconductor devices, which are less than $1. And you know how much does a satellite cost. Back to the subject that should worry you is I've been teaching for 7.5 years. And 7.5 years, I guess I know what the psyche of the students are, especially the one from the executive MBA program, meaning that I need to bring in live, real examples. I can't tell you a story of the 1950s and the 60s and tell you business was there. I'll try to keep it as current. I'll try to bring in examples because most of you are the post-internet era, if I'm right? I mean, you never knew what was life before internet. So we'll try to keep examples on that. Then what? So 7.5 years of teaching, voracious reader. Yeah, I used to read a lot, but now just make sure that I am current and make sure that you guys make sense of what I'm doing. I've been reading content which is of teaching interest. Any questions so far, online and offline? All good? All good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is your course. One suggestion, you get the PPT. So just don't write. You get the PPT, you get the books, you get to record, listen to me talk. So use these 18 hours to absorb. Don't write down. I mean, unless you have a habit of writing down, which I wouldn't mind. I'm just telling you is that you get everything. So you got 18 hours of classes with me that runs down to 6 assignments, 6 sessions, and that'll be too much, right? Yeah, 2 assignments, 9 self-tests, and off classroom activity. Should we increase any of them? No, it's fine. I should cut off the off classroom. Huh? Good. See, there are good boys sitting in the first bench. Good. So, so what I mean by 18 hours, we almost on to last 10 minutes already gone, is that I mean, more than 18 hours, I'll talk about the 2 assignments. There's already an assignment which is released. I don't know if it's there on the LMS. All of you know how to use the LMS, but if you don't know, I'm not the guy to answer how it works. But you must eventually learn to use the LMS. Okay. And yes. No, that's something else. Okay. And off classroom activity is I'll want you to be thinking about the subject in your work. So I'm sure you drive along, think about what is being taught to you, because in an executive MBA program, this is like, what's the difference between engineering and ITI or diploma? And what is the difference? Is more hands-on, right? More hands-on. So the executive program is a more hands-on program. A lot of what you have learned in today's class or in your classes can actually be implemented at work. So I want you to start thinking about it all the time. Good. Now what? Now we have the course overview. What is the course overview? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to introduce you to the subject, a bit of history. I'll tell you why all this marketing jargons are there and why we should take marketing more seriously. Clearing notions. There's always some notion built in our mind about we've already branded marketing. So we'll see what do you think of marketing and what actually is marketing. We'll understand. I asked you guys in filling in the form as to how many of you are from what backgrounds. But that will help me to analyze to what extent I can get and how much basic do I have to sit to. Then we'll talk about the role of marketing in an organization, why marketing is important and why organizations die because of bad marketing practices. Then we talk about the nuances of marketing. What does nuances of marketing mean? The finer elements of marketing. You know how to play cricket, but you also need to play a stroke like the way Sachin does. That's finer batting, right? I mean, the Chris Lloyd versus, not Chris Lloyd, what is that? Chris Gale versus maybe who? Sachin or somebody like that. Okay, some idea. Then we talk about bringing science and process to marketing. We'll also notice that it's that we can put a lot of marketing is generally considered an art to people who don't know marketing. But then at the end of our 18 hours, you will notice that marketing is not an art. Marketing is a perfect science. It's possible for you to work out using certain formulas, certain rules to come up with what probably is one measurement tool to look at what it is. You know, for example, most of us know what's SLA. What is SLA? Service level. So you know that there's a parameter of measurement. How do I know you delivered properly or not? That I'm allowing you 2 hours of downtime over a 365-day period. So that becomes 99.98. So there is match to such a service. And there's also reasonable amount of match to the marketing. Then we talk about adopting marketing into business. Yeah, one thing, you guys can interrupt me whenever you want, okay? And just don't wait for the professor to complete the slides. We have 60 slides and that will take a long time for it to get over. Marketing to consumers and marketing to business is another one that we will talk about. The first 2-3 classes will generally focus on marketing to consumers because that's easier to understand. And then we expand into marketing to business. Then open minds to vastness, importance. Yeah, okay. So this is something that we will do. That's good. This is how your syllabus looks like. Fine print, don't bother about the fine print. You get it to read it anyway. But I just pulled out a very popular book, took out the details. At 18 hours, I can't teach you. I can't make a. I can't make you the what do you call the Picasso's or the who is the Leonardo da Vinci's of art, right? At 18 hours, at the most, I can give you an overview. So we'll talk about many subjects, but we'll not stick to certain subjects. Okay, so this is what is areas that we will actually be concentrating on, but some of them we will leave it out. Good. The book for you is Philip Kotler's book, any edition. Actually, I come from an old school of thought, so I say the earlier the edition, better for you. So we are talking basics. Don't have to buy the latest version. You don't even have to buy it. You know how to get it otherwise. The course content, structure and frameworks of marketing. And yeah, this is the book you will read. You all see the slide, right? Okay. There's too much of font size. I mean, I'm trying to fill in a lot. And advancing in subjects. So every year, actually not even every year, every term, the subject is evolving. So what I taught 2 terms back is different from what you're going to learn today. Because there's been advances. I believe I should add in something. I believe something else has become a little more trivial. So I'm sure all of you know what SWOT analysis is, right? I'm sure you learned SWOT analysis the very first day you went. So if I were to spend 6 hours trying to teach you SWOT analysis, I guess we are defeating the purpose. I'll make a mention about SWOT and I also let you know how the world has changed and why SWOT is no longer the big thing and all that. So we'll keep moving to it. But where do I get this stuff from? I get it from Harvard, Stanford, and other gold standards on the subject of marketing management. We also have a lot of case studies that we'll discuss. And yeah, you can do that. Most of them from near, I think I've used the term, near current, meaning case studies that you understand. I can't tell you case studies of some 40, 50-year-old case studies, but you won't follow. But if I tell you a case study of Jio versus Airtel, that's live on in your mind, right? So I will try to stick to it as much as possible. But many a time, the older case studies are gold standard. We'll have to discuss that. Then, while the framework is fixed, the contents, yeah. So I know what are the boundaries of my presentation to you. But inside that, we can fill in a lot of things. Being a management course, emphasis is on giving directions and not on hand-holding. That's very, very clear. Which also means that even when you're on assignments, I expect you to be innovative. I expect you to think. I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you this is a way to do it. I'm just give you a broad idea of what I expect you to do it. And you guys are all 3 years, 7 years, 10 years of experience. Who is under 3 years here? Under 3 years. Okay. Who's 10 years and above? Good. So perfect mismatch. How are you all sitting? Are you sitting by group wise or are you sitting by just the fact that you like each other? Just random. Do you know him? Okay. Good. So I give you 3 minutes to know each other. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Make sure that the guys on the table, on each table, know each other. And how will the online guys work? I don't know. So just go ahead. Right away, do it. Introduce yourself to him. If you know him, just go ahead and ask him something else. Train mein kya ho raha hai? Go ahead. You did it? And you met him? Yeah, I just want to know, are you sitting in the same seating arrangement as in the morning? Brilliant. Reshuffle. Reshuffle now. Now, absolutely. You cannot be sitting with the same person that you were sitting in the morning class. I will not give you comfort in the class. See, the guys online also removing. They're moving from bedroom number 1 to bedroom number 2. Good. Okay, nobody's sitting next to each other. Perfect. Okay. Hey, how do I mute it? Can you mute, please? Okay, brilliant. Okay, everybody happy? I don't know, I'm happy. Okay, so where were we? So no hand holding, I said, right? And no hand holding. Efforts are made to encourage thinking, visualization. Yeah, you'll know what all this means, but for now, just assume this is fine. Working to learn. The course is challenging. The course is indeed challenging. Are you very unhappy that I'm pulled you from there? You should want to go back. Okay, so course is going to be very challenging. You just last chance for you. Oh my God. Okay. So, yeah, these are, I can't keep muting everyone. Yeah, okay, this is part of life, new life. You're encouraged to ask, you're encouraged to smile. Tough one, huh? No? Okay, there's one more unmute himself. I'm here. Okay, this is very important. I'm here to teach and you're here to learn. Let's make that very clear. Let's get our equation right. Okay, so beyond a point, you know who holds the mic. Okay, enter the evaluation. What am I looking at the end of my 18 hours? I know for you it could be 18 months of the course, but for me at the end of 18 hours, I want to feel confident that, what's your name? What? Ready. I want to make sure that ready is a slightly different or vastly different from what I saw in him. That's my intent. I'll try to make it, and you will notice it. And I tell it with absolute confidence because I've been doing that for about 7.5 years. And I've been associated with the DSU executive program from day one. So I know what the intent of the dean is. I know what's the direction of the university is. And so I know what we really want to see you improve virtually term to term. So I'll try my best to do it. Okay. So lots of conversation, lots of things, but I still don't know your names. But we'll get there, no problem. You think I'm actually struggling with this, but try coming and standing here. No, I don't like slide. That's the only problem is I want to know what's coming next. So that's the only reason. So this is, wow, EPG's course code number. Course code number. EPG 101 is operations management. 102 is something like that. So you have 4 subjects. So minus 103. That's all. Okay, perfect. Good question. So this is Philip Kotler. Just celebrated his birthday sometime very recently. Yeah, May 73. Yeah, he's just about 100 years old. On how much? 90 years old. So he's literally called the guru of marketing. So read his book. Just one book reference. Okay, he's called the father of marketing. He's good and he's doing fine. Any questions so far? Anybody else? Your obligation. You too have an obligation, right? Complete Google Forms within deadline. I'll give you virtually 2 Google Forms per day. I mean, per session. Complete assignments within the deadline. Upload to LMS. Group assignments and videos. Your first assignment is going to be a group assignment. Do you know your group? But all of you type group A, B, C, but that's section, not your group. Okay, you'll know your groups very soon. And there is also an individual assignment. There's something that Reddy has to do with his team, but there's something that Reddy has to do. His first name that I can recall is also has to do on his own. So you need to read the PPTs of the previous class because I'm going to ask you beginning of the next class. Good. Is it tough? Sounds tough. Definitely easier. Tough. You've just seen the beginning, man. No, don't worry. Don't worry, it gets tougher. Okay, anything? Yeah, your introduction. Now, how do I get 30 of you? That's the best way to conduct the class. Do 30 interviews and say, class ho gaya time. Chalo. It doesn't work like that, right? So for the professor, how do I get all 50 of you to introduce yourself? And for among the 50 of you, how do you stand up and be recognized, right? That's the whole point. Is that at some point I should say, wow, this is a brilliant guy. But how does he get to introduce himself in the 5 seconds that I give him? I don't know. We'll have to find a way to do it. So how do you get noticed in a crowd? And how do you say the right things swiftly, briefly, and in a very interesting way? Thankfully, there is a tool for that. The tool is called an elevator pitch. And the other is called Twitter messaging. Any idea what's an elevator pitch? No. No idea what's an elevator. Any guys online know what's an elevator pitch? Perfect. So let's say who's a big guy with lots of money in India? Ambani, Adani. Fair enough. Like so, you get. So happens that tomorrow there's no class after 4:30. You decide to go to Vega City Mall. Good mall. Nice, huh? Good one. Okay. So you go there by sheer accident and by sheer grace of God. Just you and Ambani are on the same lift. Nobody else. And we assume that the Vega City Mall, or not Vega City Mall, some other building, let's say, is a 25-storied building. And do you know which floor Ambani is in? Floor 25. And you have to get out in floor number 3. So when you and Ambani are together, and this is that one opportunity that you're waiting for, are you going to get out in the fifth floor? No. What are you going to do? You're going to hang on with him till the 25th floor, wherein obviously, so you have something like 25 seconds to talk to Ambani. You got his all attention. And then what are you going to tell him? Sir, how's the weather? No, right? Sir, cricket ka kya hua? Jadeja mara century? No, you wouldn't say that, right? So you have 30 seconds to tell Ambani that, sir, I have a brilliant plan. And trust me, in this brilliant plan is going to make Ambani's business quadrupulated. You have 30 seconds to say something. So all in all your life, if you're an entrepreneur, you try to do what is called an elevator pitch. So you happen to bump into me, or you happen to bump into Narayan Murthy. And I used to bump into Narayan Murthy very often because he's a very ordinary person. He travels, he stands in the line, and then you have Narayan Murthy just standing there. Or do I just smile at him? He smiles at me. But then if I were to have his attention, I might want to tell him a brilliant idea that I have. I really want to convert all paper to gold or something like that, but I want to share that idea. So an elevator pitch is what you have to 30 seconds of attention. What do you tell? What do you tell is, sir, my name is this. I was born in this city. This city has a population so and so. Usi mein 15 floor chala jayega, right? So you need to decide what to tell. So what's an elevator pitch. What's Twitter messaging? How many of you have a Twitter account? All of you go open one account and follow me. Okay. Okay. But now my Twitter account is nramesh101. Okay. First assignment number 1. Okay. You follow my Twitter account. So what is Twitter? Twitter is where everybody. Hey, are you cooking or something? It's getting be a bit irritating. That's okay. Don't bother. It's part of life. So Twitter message is what you message and the whole world listens to you, right? Modi's put something on Twitter. Putin is now not busy doing Twittering. He's busy otherwise. So you have, and what did Twitter say? You can't keep on messaging for long. I'll give you a character limit. Now, earlier they started with 130 characters. Now they have come up with some 250 or something like that. But you have 250 characters in which you have to tell about yourself, or you have to tell about what is your concern about Ukraine, or what do you believe about Shilpa Shetty, or whatever it is. You only 230 characters to do. That's what is Twitter. So today, by your first lesson that you have learned is that what is an elevator pitch? I think I should look here, not there. What is an elevator pitch, and what is a Twitter character limit? So having understood that, how do I introduce myself to you in a Twitter character? I told you what about myself. I told you what I did this, I did that. So let's see, how do I describe myself on a tweet? This is what possibly a tweet of mine would look like. I would say enjoyed a roller coaster ride of being an engineer to an entrepreneur. I'm 60 now. Nobody listens to me at home. So I come and lecture you all because you have to listen to me, right? So what am I also trying to do, and why I'm saying that? You should be able to show the humor side of you as well. It's not going to be a serious introduction of yourself. Humor. I say I'm a South Bangalorean. So you know from which part of Bangalore I come from. And I am very choosy of the coffee I drink. I just can't drink coffee at all. I really like certain type of coffee. And I support CSK over RCB. That's a fact of life. So I'm able to say a little bit more about myself. Now you have a different opinion of mine, right? I mean, you know where I come from, what are my choices? How long did I take? I took 30 words and I took 193 characters. Now it's time for you to use your brilliance, demonstrate to me that you will give a Twitter introduction of yourself in 100 and in under 200 characters. So I'm going to put this on copy. I'm going to put this here. I want you to go ahead. How do I enter here? Log into your mobile, log into your laptop, and introduce yourself. Yeah, it's on the WhatsApp group. Oh, it's not on the WhatsApp group. Can anybody online? Mansi, can you do me a favor? Can you send it to the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sure, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
I
we'll
can-
do that, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing it right away.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about 1 to 10 to 5 or something. So I'll give you about 10 minutes to introduce yourself. Good. How many of you are able to open the link so far? You will open. So can you tell me what's there in the questions? That's it. Maybe read loud. Oh,
It says
okay.
student info and it asks for the name.
Ah,
Then it says, does the company you work for?
yes. So that's a, yeah. So that's the link. You're probably clicking on the wrong link. Mansi is right. You're supposed to be clicking on the link which says, go ahead, Mansi.
Yeah, the first thing it says that the header is student intro and then
Yes.
it's asked for your name. The second question is, does the company you work for have any customers oblique users? If yes, who are they?
Go ahead. Go ahead. What happened? Are you there? Yeah, maybe you're filling. So you guys got the form? Yeah, okay. So go ahead and fill it. Yeah, Mansi, there?
Yes, sir. And
Yeah,
the fourth question is,
Yeah.
describe.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Perfect. So go ahead and fill up your sheets. If it's no, you ignore the third one, the question. If it's yes, then you have a fourth one which says introduce yourself in 200 characters.
That's good.
Right. Go ahead, fill in your thing. In the meanwhile, let me open the. Let me open. Okay, so I got the slide here. So now now everybody will be able to see what are the responses. Anybody struggling to or having a problem, let me know. Is it asking for password? No, it's not. Not. It's open.
No, it doesn't ask for password.
Doesn't ask for password. You're able to, right? Yeah, yeah. Are you guys okay with me walking around? No COVID restrictions. Okay. Yeah. Doing fine.
Excuse me, sir. Can you again share the link because I don't know, I'm not able to access it.
How do I share the link? It's there on WhatsApp.
Yeah, Darshan has already put it on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, I
Right.
think.
Okay,
Otherwise, if you've downloaded the class one intro PowerPoint, it's there on the 14th slide.
Where do you want the link? If you specify, maybe we can help you. There's a chat here on the online.
yeah, there's a link there. You can log on to pick up from the chat also.
Yeah, can someone
Yeah.
share it on the chat once again, because I left the
I can-
meeting and I joined back again.
Okay,
And-
I'll put it one more time. I'll paste it. That's it. That's all you want, right? Yeah, there you go. Somebody
Thank
else already did it. Okay, I already have someone saying that Sweta Mittal. What is she saying?
I'm not here.
BCA graduate working. I come from a captioned cool city, but I'm not as cool as him. Oh, what was that? It's a typo, right? I come from. Okay, it doesn't allow you to submit one more time. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't allow. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So now go ahead and tell, which city are you from? Captain Cool is who? Dhoni. Huh? Yeah. Ranchi, Captain Cool. Okay. Good. Well, you're not that. You get nervous. You're worried about whether you're able to deliver projects in time. You're not as cool as him. We'll try to make you cool. But at the process, I might get worried. Right? I enjoy my bike ride. But what's yours? Yeah, that's Sweta, right? Isn't that a nice way for us to know each other? I enjoy my bike ride, love it as well. Dream to buy a car and house of my own. I work with TCS. It's my dream job. Like to play cricket. But what about the other two? What the company that you work for? That's further down or something? Where are the answers to those? I don't know how to get this. Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yes. Does a company you work for have any customer and users? No. You said no customers. You deal with? Where you work? What do they do? Okay. So you how do you define customers as? Those who don't buy products from you but buy from somebody else. Fair enough. Let's get there. Well, let's get there. Okay. Very nice. 27-year Hyderabadi. Who's this? Yeah. Happened to be on the web and a mobile developer. Reach companies. Balakrishna, having 10 years of experience working in Accenture. Very nice. I'm Suresh from Bangalore. I'm working for Herbalife. Our innovation is to make the world healthier, happier, and you richer. You didn't say that, right? Then Ramya Shetty. I'm not from Bangalore. I can't speak Telugu. And I'm not. That's fun. Good. I'm trying to explore the world and done with Kannada for now. Filter coffee and beach is my thing. Very nice. Hi, Ramya.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. Good. So that's something that I can quickly recall later on. It's a nice introduction of yourself.
Thanks.
What does Mahesh say? Program manager, 13 years, Chennai boy with a sense of exuberance. And you don't support CSK, or what's your position?
Basically,
Mahesh.
basically, I don't like the IPL because I strongly feel that like that's spoiling the sense of cricket. I'm a kind of guy who likes test match and 50 overs match.
Yes, sir. Fair enough. Perfect. Good. There you go. There you have preferences coming out. And myself, Daniel, hanging around with friends and completing my undergraduate, working for Wipro, passion drummer by birth. Agra Kamal, it's just fine print. That's why it's taking long. That's all. You're from Kolkata, big foodie. I'm from Kolkata.
Yes, sir.
Are you there? Okay. I'm from Calcutta too.
Okay, sir.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah, obviously, sir. It's very good.
Good. Which school did you study?
I studied in BD Memorial Institute.
In Calcutta.
Yes, sir.
I studied in South Point School.
Okay.
Okay. You know that school?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Okay. And who's from AP? Good. The company he likes, he's not going to disclose. Okay. Why you don't want to disclose? Whatever the reason, right? I'm responsible for the requirements of engineering. Okay. When I mention a name, and if any of you are here, you can just raise your hand. Ajit Pradhan, introvert who wishes to do things individually. So, Mr. Introvert, no, not Mr. Introvert. What do you think is the role of a manager? How do you define a manager? Any one of you? Who's a manager? If you're
Sir,
into
to manage people's.
manage people. So if you're an introvert, how can you, and you want to work things individually, how can you be? You will have to change that, right? Sudarshan working in Tamil Nadu and senior specialist. This is Prajwal from Bangalore. Okay, good. Are we done? All of you uploaded. I'll look at it a bit later. Let's carry on with it. It is, unless any one of you believe that I want to read out your name. Yeah. What's your name? Chandan, where is your name? Yeah. Chandan, kidhar hai? Chandan. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm working with Atlantic Builders as a facility manager. I'm handling projects, working as a management team. Very good. Very nice. Anybody else that I should know who was sitting here, or even otherwise? Now I know Mansi for sure. She's been very helpful. Well, Mansi, where's your slide? Or where's your number? Mansi, there you go. Mansi, working with HP. No wonder we get along well, right? I was also with HP, right, Mansi?
And I uploaded my form, but if you would like to know, let me just introduce myself.
Yeah, I see that. I see that you're with HP.
Yes, I work for HP. It's been 11 years with HP, and I have been associated with.
I was with HP for 6 years.
Awesome. That's great to know, sir.
That's great. We are colleagues, man. Yeah.
Yes.
And I also play badminton.
Awesome.
There you go.
We can have a game someday.
Great. We make good friends. Perfect.
Definitely.
Good. Right, Mansi. Thanks. Anybody else wants to log in here? That's the whole idea. Anybody else?
Hi, sir. This is Sudeep.
Sudeep.
Sudeep, Hyderabad. I think that's 27-year-old Hyderabad either. That's me.
Oh, you're the guy, Sudeep. Okay. I thought it was Sudeep is also a film actor, right?
Yes. But I'm from Andhra.
Okay. You don't like Sudeep, the Kannada film actor? No.
No. I like him. No, I mean, like, they happen to just, people will think that I'm from Karnataka, but yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. So thanks. Great introduction. All of you, welcome to the group. And you're almost 45 minutes. Let's get along with the subject, right? Perfect. I'll look at all your things. And over a period of time, I'll be able to know you better. This is for section B. I mean, we'll have it for tomorrow. Now, getting down to business. The whole concept of marketing, or the whole concept of manufacturing, or the whole concept of selling, all that has a historical reference, right? Nothing just came up overnight and then Philip Kotler didn't get up this morning and say, let's create marketing. It's been an evolution. And like with everything, there's to be a story behind it. And we need to know why we are today sitting in marketing and why marketing is so important and why some of your companies are even sponsoring you to sit through this class. And why are you willing to get 3 hours of a wonderful movie time to come and sit and listen to this class? It's because marketing is relevance. But how did marketing evolve? What is the birth of it? So let's run through a little bit of pages of history and get to understand it. But before I get there, there's one point that I possibly missed out, which was that
Your time.
yeah. So whenever you get a slide which says definition and notes, this is for you guys to read about. Okay, so it'll help you. Other slides are for a conversation between us, but slides which say definition and notes, if I ask you what's an elevator pitch, you know where to look out and read for it. Okay, so make sure that you read through this, and this will be your guide of the conversation.
So where is this updated deck, sir? Because
Maybe it's not uploaded, but don't bother. It'll be uploaded
Okay.
by the end of the class or something. Yeah. So don't bother. You'll get all that. Those are minor things. Yeah. So we look at the whole business at a glance and see how it evolves. If you look at the early days of civilization, the very, very early, the 10,000 years back, 15,000 years back, what was man? Man was either a hunter or a gatherer, right? He would either get hunted and killed, or he would go and hunt for something, right? So what was it? It was just the survival of the fittest. There was nothing else that was happening. Either I get eaten or I eat something for lunch. Can you all mute yourself? Because you don't know how painful it is out here. Okay, brilliant. But as the world evolved, as things got up, we started having the concept of a ruler and a king. So what would the king do? The king would do nothing but listen to fine music and things like that and tax his people, right? And what was that? What was that movie which said that I'll keep taxing you? What was that movie? Lagan, right? So what was his idea of wealth? Or what was his idea of creation of wealth? He said, I'll go and capture more kingdoms. The more kingdoms I capture, the richer I become, right? That was the only way we knew how to make money. The only way we knew to make money was tax this guy 3 times. That's it, because my wife wants a nice gold necklace. Let's tax him and I buy her the. Or if I can't do that, I, as a king, will invade the neighboring country and all their riches will become ours. That was the only way it did. That's why you have hundreds being massacred, kingdoms being conquered ruthlessly. Why? Because it said that I win, you lose. There was no concept which says win-win. There is no win-win concept. It was all about I win, you lose. And secondly, the size of the pie was limited, meaning that I assumed that there was only so much available money, and hence I have to fight for that size of the pie. They never thought that the pie size could be increased, or we could do something else other than having a pie. Maybe you can bake some cakes. So the concept that there was tax the people, the only way for me to grow would be to make somebody poorer. It is impossible for us to imagine a situation where he is rich and I is rich. That is not going to be possible. Till something very unique happened. What that unique happened is called the creation of the credit system. What is credit? What does your credit card do? If one of you can define what does your credit card do? It helps you to buy from Amazon. It gives you, why does it give you time to pay? Why they like your face? They want, by giving you a facility, they make money. They want to do business. I've been applying for a credit card. They don't give me only. Huh? You have a Bajaj person sitting here only. Correct. So who is the Bajaj guy? Yeah. So why do you guys give credit cards? Oh, you don't give credit cards. You only use the credit card. Okay. So anybody else, why do they give credit cards? They earn money. Okay. But you could have swiped your bank account. They give you card to collect data.
To earn money, to earn the interest.
To earn interest. Anything else? Can you start thinking differently?
And to finance.
Okay. One, advice number two, advice number three. Stop thinking like the way you were thinking till yesterday evening. From now onwards, you will stop thinking, but you'll think like managers. You will think like managers who are made to sit to make decisions. So why do I give? Why do I give? Where are you working? Japanese. Oh, well, wow. And where are you working? Ah, Indian. No, I know Bueller is not Indian. I know everything about Bueller. Japanese, man. I'll give you 2 lakhs credit on my card. You're based in Electronic City. 50,000 credit. Why did I do that?
To earn the
Why?
customer, to have the, loyal customer.
Loyal customer.
Yeah.
Why did I give him? The moment he said, I work for a Japanese company, I just got excited and gave him 1 lakh credit. He said, Bueller India, I know Bueller India. They supply to rice mills. They do all kinds of things. Bangladesh is their primary market, right? In this part of the world. Huh? Now it's changed. So I don't want, so I'm only giving you 50,000. Why am I doing that? What is that? Some word you use. What is repayment capacity? He can. So you trust that if I give him a 1 lakh rupee loan, he most likely, but I give him, he might just default, right? So what is credit system all about? Take this, take this seriously, because you're going to get into the whole subject. Is that credit then said that I give you money, you pay me tomorrow. That's the fundamental thing. Is that I don't have money today. It's okay, use the credit system. So what did credit do to this concept? The king said that I will charge him more. I'll do more taxation. I'll tax him more. But then somebody said, don't do that. Give him money. Lend him money. Now, when I lend him money, instead of an agriculture land of 50 acres, which produce 100 tons of rice, he will start producing 150 tons of rice. Now, he is also happy. I'm also happy because I'm going to tax him for 150 tons of rice instead of 100 tons of rice. And I can actually tax him 2% less because I'm going to get money. So what did credit system do? Credit system just totally developed the concept that I win, you lose doesn't apply. We both can win. By bringing in the credit system, as you rightly said, it allows him to buy that nice Apple phone, which he can pay after 1 month because he's getting married, he's going to get dowry and all that stuff. So he can pay after a month. And for you, you meet your target of this month of March is a very crucial month for all businesses. So both are happy, right? So that is what credit did. And the moment credit got introduced, the economy started just booming up. So nobody was worried about the size of the pie. No, the size of the pie became more. That means we were not fighting for a 9-inch pie. We both knew that we could actually build a 12-inch pie and we could all eat more, enjoy more, earn. So what you need to understand that there was a creation of wealth. There was a period of time when they said that we will tax you, and now came up the credit system. Now with credit system, what happened next? With credit system, yeah, this is for you to read. What is credit system? Credit system created the concept of win-win. He's happy that he got himself a Apple phone. You're also happy that you were able to, do your sale. If you're a builder and somebody says he works for a building company, I don't know who's that. So if you were to wait for him to accumulate 50 lakhs and give you a thing, it will take him 20 years, assuming, okay, or 10 years to get that 50 lakhs and give it to you. But are you willing to wait for 20 years for the building to be ready? So you tell him, no, don't bother. I trust you, you trust me. Take this house. Every month you give me 10,000 rupees. And at the end of 20 years. So that resulted in more buildings being built. That resulted in everybody happy. So this created a credit system. Now, if you are following me, these are basics of marketing. These are basics of economy. These are your basic classes. If you miss me at this slide or in the following slides, you're not going to catch up. So make sure you've understood me well. If you have a question, I'm here to answer you any number of times. Okay. So what did the Europeans do with the credit system? The Europeans did with the credit system. The king said, let me fund exploration. So that is how, who was the guy who went westward looking for India from Europe?
Columbus.
Vasco da Gama went the right way. Columbus, right?
Columbus.
So
Yeah.
Columbus said, Earth is round. I'll go westward, and going westward, I should be able to finally discover India. It so happened that he didn't go very far. He discovered a country called,
Red Indians.
what did he discover?
Red Indians, America.
Yeah, America or the land, whatever that is. So, but who was funding him? The kings were funding him. So what would happen? Vasco da Gama would come towards India, or the kings funded East India Company. And what did East India Company do? They came and started plundering all these colonized nations. So these were the ones who had discovered the credit system. Credit system made the guys build bigger ships, do more exploration, and they would go to these places and bring in all the resources. So you see what it did. It created an imbalance between developing nations and old underdeveloped nations. It created a colony. So they started plundering wealth of other countries. Are you with me? Brilliant. What happened next? As a part of that, there was the Industrial Revolution. What did Industrial Revolution do? Industrial Revolution mechanized everything. You no longer have to manufacture by hand. You had machines which could manufacture. So all of a sudden you could manufacture a large quantity of products, any product for that matter. They started manufacturing. And they started manufacturing more than the requirement. Now, what do they do with what is more? Give it to those countries which are the poorer countries. So they came and told these colonized countries that take the raw material and send them back the finished goods. That's why if you all recall, one of the biggest complaints that we have is that we used to make fine cotton material in Bengal, but the Britishers came, took the cotton from India, took it to England, sent it as a finished goods and say, you will have to buy this product. But he said, no, we know how to weave. You do not weave anymore. Handloom is dead. You have to buy my product. So because they were the kings and we were the slaves, we didn't have much of a choice. So look at the situation. The seller was the king. You have to buy what I, okay? And no, I want a cloth. No, the shipment is coming. So you have to wait for what I have. No, I want to buy an alternate. There is no alternate. You have to buy my thing. So the buyer had no choice. So this is what happened. You see where we are heading from civilization to credit to how other countries started dominating. Then at the end of the Second World War, lots of countries got liberated, including India, right? India got liberated in 1947. The World War technically ended in 1942. Then what happened? Lots of new countries came up. Countries like Singapore, countries like South Korea, countries like all of them, they became the giants. Japan, they all said. Now, what did they do? They also started manufacturing. So now the rich and the poor divide ended. The less and less divide between the rich and the poor. And when South Korea is manufacturing goods, when Singapore is manufacturing goods, when some other country is manufacturing goods, there are more choice available for the customer. I don't have to buy a General Electric refrigerator. I have a choice now. I can buy an LG. So now the seller had competition, the buyer had choice, right? So now you see, from a point of time, I don't know how many of you remember, I had to wait for something like 10 years to get a BSNL connection. We all know your parents, grandparents, and there was a time when I had to wait for 6 months to get my Bajaj scooter. The waiting period. Would you wait for that long? So from a period of no choice, we started having plenty of choice. So if that is what you have been following with me, let's look at the next slide. So now look at how the world has changed. It's no longer a seller's market. There was a period, there was product scarcity. You have to wait for the new product to come, just like I was telling about the BSNL. There were limited sources. There was supply and demand mismatch. I had to wait, and if I like you, I will sell you. Otherwise, I'll not sell you. So they say, we'll not sell to the blacks. We'll not sell to the Dalits. All kinds of those crazy rules would have come up there. Because the seller was the king. He would define who gets it, who doesn't get it. Now, what is today's world? Today's world is a buyer's market, right? You don't give me, I'll go elsewhere. There's no plenty. There's choice of plenty. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Unlimited options. There is a supply-demand mismatch on the opposite side. There are plenty of suppliers available. They'll come to you. And the buyer is the king. So what has happened? It's a globalized world now. We know what's happening every part of the world. The buyer not only has choice, he's spoiled for choice. Actually nowadays, I don't know how many of you actually go and buy fruits. There was a period of time when we would only buy those Himachal apples. But today, if you go to a shop like Namdari or something, you have half a dozen varieties of just apples alone. We are spoiled for choice. There's plenty of choice. Second, the buyer is educated. Can't fool me. Can't fool me around. You can just say, sir, unlimited. Nothing is unlimited. Okay. They say what unlimited internet access. With there'll be a bottom line with fair practices and things like that. right? So the seller needs to please the buyer now. If you don't pick up my call on the second ring, I'm not buying your product. That's it. As simple as that. Who's going to wait for you? Am I going to, hey, please, I'm calling you repeatedly, Mr. Japan. Doesn't really matter. And you don't pick up my call, I'll go to Bueller. Right? So there's choice for me. Are you following me? The seller needs to listen to the market. Yes. You can't say, I will dictate. I will dictate. We are closed on Tuesdays. I'll go somewhere else. Shivratri, hum log, we great religious followers of Shivratri, we are closed. So somebody will go for a shop which is open on Navratri. That's it. Right? So you need to react to market needs. If you don't give me what I want, I'll go somewhere else. As simple as this. I want this, and this. No, sir, we can only give you 1, 2, 3. I can't give you the fourth one. Okay, I'll go look for somebody who can give me the fourth one. You need to act as the market desires. You need to perform the art of marketing. So you go first 1 hour, the first time we have used the word marketing. So what is marketing in your opinion? If I have been telling you that seller is the king, has moved to buyer is the king, and in between you have the line called marketing, can you define marketing for me? Can you define marketing for me? What is the difference between sales and marketing? Marketing is branding. Marketing is how do I please my customer? Very good. And what is selling? Giving the customer what I have. I don't care about the customer. I just give it to him. That's it. Yeah, fair enough to some extent. Any other example? To create a brand value, or think about it for a minute. Complete, think about it.
Marketing is to,
Marketing is to
make,
tell
yeah,
with a
make
louder
sure-
voice. Huh?
Yeah,
Marketing
can you
is,
hear me? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the marketing is to, we should make sure that actually the product is reachable to the, all the part of the country or to the end user. So this is something like, as we have product, we are ready for the sales, but actually marketing helps us actually to make sure that the product is reaching to, all sorts of, customer, all the layers, the product, is supposed
so
to reach.
marketing is supply chain.
Yeah.
So marketing is supply chain?
No.
Marketing is the ability to reach every small mom pop shop in India. Is that marketing? Think about it for one more time. I told you to tell your name and then speak so that I can address you. Look
Yeah.
at this slide. Look at this slide and tell me what is marketing. Go ahead. Marketing is educate the customer about the product.
Building awareness of the
Building
Aware.
awareness of what?
The product.
Still not coming to where I am. I think she's thinking perfectly.
Yeah, I think
That's the correct
Making
answer.
a
Go ahead.
brand about a organization or brand.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Start modifying it for I'll give you 30 seconds to redo it. Your perfect line. Yeah, go ahead. Say that again one more time. Mansi, right? Yeah. Could you repeat what you said?
Hi, sir. My name is Amita.
Amita, yes.
Yeah, so I was telling marketing is building awareness of like maybe organization and brand for our like customers,
Okay.
for potential customers maybe.
So hi, my
Yeah,
name
now
is
I'm going to
Swati.
have him because he was thinking on a different line. Your name?
My name is
Sanjay.
Swati, sir.
Yeah, wait. Let's have Sanjay talk.
Okay.
Understanding what the buyer wants. Understanding what the buyer wants. Okay, understand what the buyer wants. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you have these guys, yeah, I don't know how to say this. If you are, if you're in the signal light, you have these people who are selling you tissue boxes, or the ones who are selling you some gizmo or something like that. Does he know anything about the product?
No.
Especially you have this, now it's limited, but you used to have those pirated books and CDs. Okay, so there's the guy selling out there how to be, name some books, you guys, name some books that you read. Any books? Huh? Which one?
Positive thinking.
Rich and Poor Dad. Rich and Poor Dad. Okay, one more.
The positive thinking.
The Positive Thinking. By whom? By whom? Rich and Poor Dad.
Rich.
7 Habits. By whom? 7
Stephen
Habits
Covey.
by Chetan Bhagat.
Stephen Covey.
Stephen
Stephen
Covey will
Covey.
hang himself.
No, the
Yeah.
7 successful habits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Stephen Covey.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to understand you guys. What books do you read and all that? And what about you, sir? You don't read books? You read minds or something? No. Okay. So what do you do otherwise? But how do you learn that? By reading some books or certification? Good, good. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, fine. So now come back to marketing is understanding what the customer wants. Understanding what the customer wants and designing a product meeting the customer's requirement. Right? Agree with me or not? Agree with me or not?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, perfect. So now that we got 2 of you or 3 of you to give me a definition, let's really look at what the definition is. Priority on the product. So happened that I manufacture these bottles in my factory. And now for some reason, this bottle doesn't fit into the car. Some fundamental error in my manufacturing that the diameter of this bottle doesn't fit into the side pocket of my car. Now I have 10,000 of these. What is the first mistake I did? I should have known what is the size of this bottle diameter and does it fit into it? Now, first, I didn't read what the customer wanted. Second, now that I have manufactured 10,000 of them, I'm going to give it to Sanjay and say, Sanjay, becho. Now, Sanjay's job is only to sell. He's not going to bother about it. It's a mistake. We did it. But a better way for me to tell is, Sanjay, I'm planning to manufacture these bottles. Why don't you ask people what do you want? And I unfortunately made it into 60 ml or 70 ml, and a typical water bottle size is 100 ml. So when I pour it from there to a container like this, I'm going to have 30 ml. Some crazy example I'm going to give you. Some 30 ml left over. So shouldn't I have designed it to fit into the car and that it holds 110 ml so that it doesn't spill over? How do I know that? I will only know it if I know what the customer's wants and needs are. Perfect? If I don't know, how will I do it? First, the customer needs and wants. I mean, I don't know what it says. You have to first satisfy the needs, and then you know how to head forward. Then consumer determines the price. Okay, by the way, sir, this bottle costs 350 rupees. I'm not going to buy it, but sir, believe me, trust me, it costs 328 rupees to manufacture. That's your problem. Who asked you to manufacture at 328? Find a better source of manufacturing at 150. So who are you to decide the cost of the product? There was a time in our lives when we were slaves, when there were no choices, when I had to buy from BSNL the phone line, or I had to pay exorbitant amount of money because I had no choice. Now I have unlimited choices. So you're not going to define, I define the price. You are not defining the price. I define. The customers determines the price. So I hope you guys are getting what is the difference between marketing and sales. Done? Yes or no? Okay. Now look at the impact between sales and marketing in today's world. Thyrocare. I don't know how many of you know Thyrocare. I wish none of you know what it is. But Thyrocare is a 40-year-old testing laboratory. They're probably the world-class standard when it comes to it. And how old is Pharmacy? 2 years. The crazy ad that they make. I just hate that ad. But then they and now what has happened? Pharmacy says, I'll come to your house, I'll deliver it, I'll take the blood sample and all that. This morning, one of my friend was telling me that at the age that I am, we want to check our health more often than not required. Okay, so he was saying that I said, are you going to a diagnostic center to give your blood sample? Hey, he's teaching me. He said, Ramesh, wo zamana gaya. They are going to come to my house and take the sample. So Thyrocare, which was the world's largest laboratory, was bought over by a company called Pharmacy. Why? Because he said, you come to my house and you come to my shop and give the blood sample. Pharmacy says, sir, hum aapke ghar aayenge, blood sample denge, and we'll give you the report in 6 different languages. Okay? So that is what is the world is all. Akash is such an old institute. They're probably 40, 50 years old, and Baiju buys it. Why? Because Akash could not adapt to a new world tactics where he didn't know how to switch overnight from offline to online. And I must tell you guys, Bueller, guys, you can check up with your other colleagues. The brilliant way in which the executive MBA program switched from offline to online, we did it very well. And thanks to the team which did it. So you see, you cannot be sitting and saying, this is the way it is going to work. Baiju overnight bought it. That is because you have to market your product. You can't be sitting there that you come here. Nahi chalega. And Tata wins Air India for 18,000 crores. Why? Because Air India was a dead duck. If you actually, and I'm telling you I'm as patriot as anybody else, including Ratan Tata, that really honestly want to go and buy a ticket for myself on Air India. The website doesn't work most of the time. The payment gateway doesn't work most of the time. Whether somebody is doing mischief or whatever it is, it's not easy for me to buy myself a ticket from Air India. And then, the food is bad, whatever the other things are. So Tata buys it. So a brilliant product doesn't know how to sell itself and buys it. And what about these? You know what are these? The sum total of all these are actually the sum total of these two groups, which is what is that? The team which now runs the two IPLs, Lucknow and Gujarat. The combination, the worth value of Lucknow and Gujarat is greater than Air India. And there you have somebody saying, I don't watch IPL, I only watch test matches. So you see, no, jokes apart, is that they are selling a dream. You don't know how it's going to work. So you are creating value out of nothing. There was nothing. Right now is a new team. And they say, for this new team, you have to pay 18,000 crores. How does it work? It's because you are creating a value and a product. Aircrafts cost a lot of money. And a product which is valuable is not able to sell itself. That's the tragedy of the business. So I hope you guys are with me on this subject. What's the time? Yeah, we'll take a break at 3 and then we go. So this is another definition of marketing. Marketing is a closed loop. You get a feedback. You're looking for the customer. What do you want? Am I listening to you? Am I listening to you? Or do you want something? We'll go with further examples down, which tells you that sometimes you don't listen to the customer, you die. So these are your definitions of marketing. This is for you to read. You guys are following me now. You know where the meat of the conversation is. Then what do we have? Now let's get into a little more basic. Man has basic needs. I'm sure we all know this. What is the difference between needs and wants?
Needs are something which is required for survival.
Need is for
Yeah.
Our
Necessity.
survival, our
Wants or luxury.
yeah. So I need to watch IPL. I want water.
No, it's
Oh, I need
need a
water.
It's
The
reverse.
other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sometimes professors get confused. Okay, so you know what are needs are basic. Needs are the very basic. What are the three basic needs? The three has become four
Water,
now.
shelter.
Roti
Clothing,
kapda
food,
makan.
shelter.
Roti, kapda, makan, or mobile.
Internet.
I thought we'll say internet.
Internet.
Yeah, but fair enough. You guys know this subject, right? No point in teaching you. And what are wants?
Desires or
Something
luxury.
beyond that, right? How
Yeah.
many? I'm sure you've heard of all those jokes that we have read. And nowadays the joke, there's no shortage of jokes. There's this beggar who goes and begs every day, and then he says to the lady, "Why don't you put a little more salt into the food?" So the needs eventually turn up into wants. That's the most important thing. Everybody wants a need. And I don't know how many of you have experienced this. Too early for you to experience, but if you go to this what is it called? The massaging machines that they are there on the counters, you can buy it for 25,000, 30,000. Then you sit on it, it starts massaging you all over the back and the legs and all that. Eventually, what happens when you buy that machine? The body gets accustomed to that pressure. And eventually you don't feel the pressure because the body has got used to it. Similarly, every need eventually becomes boring. I want beyond the need. How can I live with just potatoes? I need finger chips. That's the desire. That's the man's. The greater the desire, the greater will the economy. No, we are not talking about desire. Sorry. The greater is the wants. The desire is another subject. The greater is the want, the greater the business economy runs. Is because he wants something different that I will survive. Otherwise, this is what. So your next line will give you another idea of what it is. So these are wants and needs. What did he say? A customer problem is I'm going to carry a torch, I'm going to carry a camera, I'm going to carry a GPS player, I'm going to do all this. And then somebody says, forget those 7 devices, all your wants are addressed by one thing. So then what happens? People are waiting in the queue for coffee, and there are a lot of restaurants which have nobody to come. So you then solve the problem. People are waiting for a taxi. Then you come and tell them, sit at home, I'll deliver a taxi. Why go to a theater? I'll give you Netflix, right? So people say, I keep breaking my phone. It slips every alternate day. So somebody comes up and says, I have a Gorilla Glass. And iPhone comes and says, Gorilla Glass are outdated. We have ceramic things. And they a wonderful ad by iPhone about a child taking the phone and running all over the place. I say, we'll do it. I don't know how many of you actually know this, but I'll take a moment to explain. There was this Cold War battle between Russia and America as to who will go to the space first. Now, who will go to the space first? That's a real battle. I'll tell you, it's a big, big battle. Will I be the first to launch a satellite to space, or will Russia launch the first into space? Russia was the first to launch. So when Russia launched, of course, they felt very bad. America was a very depressed country by then. But how do I know that Russia has actually launched a rocket? So they started having a very powerful receiver in America, in a particular country or a particular position. And they would notice that when the satellite is going over the thing, the signal would from small or lower signal, the signal would keep increasing. And when the satellite was right above that particular receiver, the signal was its highest. So that they were able to be sure that yes, they have indeed launched the satellite. Now that was a scientific exercise. Now turn it upside down and you have a GPS. That's the same thing. Now you are using a GPS signal to know where you are. So what was earlier to find out where the satellite is, now you are using the satellite to where you are, and now you know how far is the Swiggy from your house or how far am I from my friend's house. So this is how you convert a want into a need. Are you all following me? Yes. Okay. So this is your you know what happens. I'm not going to read for you. Okay. That we go another 5 minutes, okay? And then there are 3 types of needs or 5 types of needs. Stated need, unstated need. I'm not going to go deep into it. We'll just stick to stated and unstated. The customer goes into a shop and says, I want a car. Why do you want? I want a car to travel from place A to place B. That's the stated need. What is the unstated need is that, or let's say you're buying a computer, he says, I want a fast computer. He will never tell you what is the unstated need because he doesn't, that's his private thing. So he says, I want a fast computer because I want to do gaming. Now, if you as a manufacturer or you as a supplier can find out what is the unstated need, you will be able to get into the mind of the buyer. But if you can even find out what is the secret need, you will be able to do even better. So there are some few lines on what is stated and unstated need. I want you to read it. We'll take a break now. Give some examples of various needs, wants, and demands. Where's the slide on demand? Demand, did I miss the slide? Yeah, demand. Just right here. What is demand? Needs, wants, and demands. What is demand? In your opinion? Requirement. So there are needs. Needs are basic. But wants are that I want all of this. I want a better food. I want a better burger and things. But demand is the ability to tell that I'm willing to throw how much money you want. Give me what I want. A demand is a luxury item that you want where the customer has the ability to pay for it. How much will you want? Come on, tell me. So that is what it is. So if you have a rich customer, and we'll understand these customers later on, the customer is not happy with his wants. The customer wants his demands to be met. So the deeper we go, we will go there. We'll take a 10 or 15-minute break. We'll come back at 3:15 and we'll start off with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right? Any questions?
Sir.
Which one? Rolls Royce is a demand because they want. Yes. Yeah. Somebody online. No, all understood well. Perfect. So take a break. Back in 15 minutes. Let's see what's here.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. See you in 15 minutes.
Hello?
Okay. Good. I do this just at the end of the first break. Are you all following me? Do I speak fast?
Yeah.
Making sense? Okay.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
good. Okay, good. So, how many of you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Or how many of you are seeing it for the first time? for the first time? How many of you have seen it for the second time? How many of you have seen it before? You. So why don't you explain Maslow's pyramid? No, even it doesn't matter. Okay, one fundamental thing. There are no wrong questions. There's nothing that can come wrong from this side of the table. Okay? I'm just asking you to take a shot at it. What does Maslow's pyramid of needs says? And your name? Mallikarjun Patil. Okay. So what do you think could be? So, okay, fair enough. We'll continue our class. So generally, are you worried about today's food? No, not really, right? Are you really worried if you have a house to live or what will happen to me? Raste pe aa jayega and all that? Not really, right? I don't think any of us kind of belong there. Are you want a sense of belonging? Why do I say how much of us want a desire for sense of belonging? Is man is a dash. What?
Social being.
Man is a social being. So which means that the biggest punishment I can give to you for coming late to class is to make you stand alone in a classroom or the biggest the most critical punishment I can give you is solitary confinement, right? Where you see no human being, you come in. That's the most painful. That's why quarantine created a lot of depression among people, is because you don't get to see it. And thankfully, if you were to be quarantining yourself 20 years back, I mean, there could have been more deaths because there's no WhatsApp, there's no Netflix. Quarantine was the best time of my life. I caught up with every I too had to do it, unfortunately, or whatever. But I caught up with all movies. I caught up with a lot of stuff. I caught up with a lot of reading also. So the sense of belonging is very important. A sense of belonging is at some point I need to do an eye movement. For some reason, I just don't look at this side of the table, or I just keep looking at you. You're going to feel offended. Without even one word of me speaking, it's enough for me to say that, okay, why is the professor not looking at this side of the table? Why is he not making an eye contact? So we need to have a sense of belonging. But with all that done, we want to have a sense of accomplishment. Why is it that I want to buy, I have a small cycle. Why do I want to buy myself a car? Why do I, having bought a car, want to buy a better car? You just talked about unstated needs, and the actual unstated need, which I want to buy a car, is because this guy bought a car which has got built-in all features. And now next time when I park my car next to him, I feel bad. I feel guilty. Hey, what is this? Yeah, we both are earning same, but this guy's car is more bigger. That's the sense of accomplishment. Sense of going to throw a party saying that, hey, listen, I passed the exam. I'm going to throw it because you have a feeling that I have done this. Or you want to go on a holiday. But eventually you need, you know what it is, right? Eventually, what is money? Money is not that I take back to my grave. And we have Puppy Larry having all kinds of gold on his body. But I guess he went virtually without anything on it. So eventually with all this learnings, all this thing is like, paisa kya hai? All kinds of sentences we can create. But I still have something in my life. What is it? I want to have a sense of actuation. With all this, everything from physiological level to a level of safety, to a level of belonging. I want to get married because I want a sense of belonging. I want to have children is because I want some sense of bonding. It's so very important. So very important. And even the very idea of an offline class is because you get to see it. There have been so many students who passed out the whole 3 terms without even ever having met up with each other. Now, so all this is fine. When I have reached all this, what is the bigger goal? What is the goal of Ambani? Or maybe Ambani is the wrong example. What is the goal of Bill Gates? What is the goal of Narayan Modi? Or what is it? They don't belong to any one of these. They are now here. Time to give back. Time to give back. It's a time when I write 100 crore check to that. Who are those 2 founders who wrote a 100 crore check or a 400 crore check for a premier institute in Bangalore to start a new thing? Over the last couple of weeks, there has been a video floating around, of course, in our WhatsApp groups, about 2 individuals and their family, each writing 200 crores or 300 crores check each. For what? To a premier institute in Bangalore. So which could be a premier institute to develop the concept of science and advancement in. So what do? They've done enough. They've left enough. Look at the politicians. The politicians going to say, for me, for my son, for my grandson, oh, I did all things. I think what if my great grandson? So they are looking at themselves. But now a true person is now saying, I've done enough. As a matter of fact, I can't recall that person, but who's that? Okay. So his children don't have any shareholding in the company that he founded. It's because he felt, I have done this. That doesn't mean that my son is going to enjoy the benefits. So that is a sense of full potential. Maslow's pyramid of needs is very important for us because we are able to analyze who the thing are. So now here is this question. Now, where would you find somebody selling, say, roti or piece of bread? Or if I come up and I want to donate 100 loaves of bread. Do you think standing in front of this gate outside at DSU, do you think I'll be able to, somebody will buy a loaf of bread that I give it up? Where would I have to do it? Some bastis or some poorer area of the society that I would have to do. I want to give out a charity tickets for a musical show, 10,000 rupees charity tickets for. You think you guys will buy a charity ticket for 10,000 rupees? I'd rather spend it elsewhere, right? So you are the wrong crowd. You're the wrong crowd for somebody who's going to buy or get free loaves of bread. You don't qualify there. I tell you, please donate 50,000 rupees for a charity music. You know, Shane Warne passed away, so let's have a cricket match for charity shop. Can you give me 50,000 rupees? Lots of other users, right? Yeah, so you don't even belong there. So let's say I tell you that we have a new car coming up, an electric car, which is fantastic. That's something that you are interested in. So all of us in our lives are at different stages in this position. And each of the products that we are trying to sell are targeted at certain levels, right? So if I'm selling motorbikes, I might be somewhere around this position. But if I'm trying to sell a high-end car or a high-end holiday, I could be at a higher level. So these are Maslow's pyramid, whatever it is called. Just one word, Maslow's is, who is Maslow's? Is the guy who came up with this whole idea. He said many, many years later that I think I made a big mistake. He said the pyramid should have been upside down. What did he mean by that? Had I told that a feeling of giving away should have been the basic human activity. What did I say is a basic human activity? Wanting to eat, wanting to keep myself. But he said, had I turned the pyramid upside down, there would have been no wars. We would freely give away the thing. But that's anyway a by thought to our conversation. So there is where we are. Okay. So this is again, you know what is the meaning of this slide. You will read it. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll spend all our life trying to use the Maslow's pyramid of needs to understand what marketing is. Just like I told you, is that just I thought I gave an example of let's say we are let's say I'm selling motorbikes. Where do you think, what kind of a position am I going to be here? What is a typical qualification of a motorbike? The person is in his 60s and 70s. He has 2 grandchildren. And is that the definition of a person who is? So what is the definition? We'll talk about it. Just because you mentioned it, we are mentally looking at the kind of a position that we are. Okay. You do not forget that. Forget that. Let's for a moment look at how did you qualify to sit in this program? How did you qualify? I cannot go and tell you basic food, water being replaced by basic graduation. I cannot come and tell you, hey, are you planning to do your graduation? Come join the executive MBA program. No, it doesn't fulfill that requirement. You need to do your basic qualification even to come to this level. Well, there are lots of other courses. Like somebody said, I did SAP or I did Oracle 7.0 or whatever that is. That, why did you do that program? To ensure your job, right? If you're not upskilled, you're going to lose your job. Somebody is going to come up and take away your job. So this is your safety. This is your safety limit. This is where you want to be. This is a position. You want to be respected. You want to move up the ladder. Now we said enough of working as a programmer or as an operator. I want to lead the team. You want actually, if you look at the slide above, which was that slide? No. Yeah, look at this. Roti, everybody gets it. Basic need. Next is job. I need a job. But what do I do with the roti? How long? Do you think you're going to be happy if every day I told you don't work, I'm going to give you food every day? No, you have to. Then socialization. We definitely need to socialize. That's a very, very important feature, socialization. Then a sense of security. Then comes leadership skills. At the end of the day, it's been proven that, what's your name? Abbas. So I tell Abbas there are 2 options. Abbas, I'll give you a 10% increment. Or I'll give you no increment, but you'll have a team of 20 working for you. What are you likely to choose? Most likely you're going to get 20 people working for you because that's a sense of power. And everybody wants power. That's a sense of power. So you need to understand that every human being wants to be in control. So these are what the desires are. And the greater you get to understand the desires, you know how to design your product. And just to, so we'll get into it. I have lots. We're just into 2 hours of a conversation. We'll spend a lot of time doing it. I'm going to give this form, but I think it's too late. I'll give you a form to fill it up a bit later. All of you are happy with that, right? This is section B. So now let's look at it. Now let's use this to see why certain companies are doing brilliant. I asked you all, which is the company you love most, which is the most brilliant company. What did you write as an answer? Or you didn't even attempt, right? You were among that. You didn't fill the form. Yeah. So what company you wrote, if you remember? Bueller. You said but I actually mentioned not the company you work for, but it's fair enough. Anybody? You wrote what? Or online guys can also answer.
Google.
Province India.
Google. Why? Why Google? Why Google? No, but why? What made you think Google is good?
So, hi, this is Mahesh. So, Google, I wrote Google, Amazon, Meta. The reason why I wrote is actually they are adapting to the cutting edge technologies, which is quite
Quite
it's the
amazing.
requirement,
Quite amazing. Right.
amazing, and it's the requirement for the current digitalization, and
Yeah.
they are adapting to the current need. So it is something like, so we are going to have a bright future, and the positions what is required, and it's something like it's quite interesting and amazing.
Okay.
So that's
What was his name? He said
Mahesh.
Mahesh. Now I'm going to ask you a counter question.
Yep.
Which is a company you think should have qualified to this list but did not qualify?
IBM.
They did not qualify.
Yeah. Not
They
up to
should
their
have
expect-
qualified.
Yes.
They should have been, but something went wrong, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. What went wrong? We'll see that later. Thanks.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Okay, good. So now let's see what's happening here. For companies, I'm just warming you up to a full course marketing subject. Okay. Now look at this. The product is the same. There's nothing wrong. It's the same roti that your grandfather ate. It's the same composition of maida and salt and thing. Nothing has changed. But the delivery mechanism has changed. You would walk into it. You drive far away to walk into it. They opened a branch for you. There was somebody reviewing it for you. Then that fellow said, I'll book the table for you. I said, what book the table? I'll deliver the food to you. So that is what is innovation. That is what. And the guy said, all this is fine. Why do you have to even exist? Don't even exist. Become a cloud kitchen. So do you know where your food comes from? No idea where your food comes from. But it comes in 7 minutes to your thing. And you know that there is no Adiyar Anand Bhavan in your 7-kilometer radius. But that's the brilliant of the thing. It's the same thing. Somebody is doing a little bit of innovation, is doing brilliant. Look at this. Travel, I'll tell you by my experience, travel, I had to go to the traveling agent. I had to beg at him, wait for him. Then he'll give me 3 options. He'll give me a ticket. I'll tell you. And I had to, there have been instances where I have not taken, I've lost my ticket at the middle of the night. And then, of course, things have worked out. I have landed where I am. So now look at how things are. Agents are dead. Apps have replaced agents. And there's no boarding pass. What's happening? You're still flying the same aircraft. You're still sitting in the same 12A seat. But this is what happened. The same thing here. We can continue. What is happening is somebody is doing a bit of an innovation. And that innovation is revolutionizing the market. Correct? It's all the same. Nothing has changed. It's the same old movie. But the way you watch it, the way you take it. Netflix is one brilliant example. Before Netflix came in, there used to be what is called Blockbuster. What was Blockbuster? You go to the car. I mean, we all had video parlors near our house also. You go there, take the CD, come back home, watch the movie, go and return it. And one fine day, I noticed that my son was refusing to walk with me on a particular road. I said, what happened? No, he said, no, I'm not coming on that road. I said, what happened? She's scared to walk on that road. I said, why? It's because he borrowed that Home Alone and he's lost the CD. And he walks on this road, the CD guy is going to catch him. Now, I can't have a situation where my son refuses to walk on that road. So I told him, hey, hang on. Hey, you know what? In a very serious note, if you do not mute yourself, I have the following problem. I lose track. And when I lose track, you know what happens, right? So anyway, The point is, what Blockbuster did was to say that if you did not deliver the CD back in time, I'm going to pay you or I'm going to penalize you. So that was when Netflix said, there's something wrong with this model. So Netflix said, pick up the CD whenever you want, just drop it at any post box, or just drop it at 100,000 outlets, or put it in a pre-written envelope and drop it. I'll pay for it. So Netflix came up with a customer-centric solution. So Blockbuster refused to adapt to it. And Blockbuster is history. Netflix is today here. Netflix said that model is dead if I stick on to it. And they came up with the OTT platform. So if you do not constantly innovate, you are dead. There was the other solution. What is that? Look at this. So what was this slide? Pay attention to the slide. The product is the same. The customer is the connect, is the tadka. That connect, the way you connect with the customer is that small difference between a, you know what is tadka, right? I mean, the dal without tadka is not very tasty. Now, the second is the same product, but the promotion is different. What does that mean? I don't know how many of you work from WeWorks by any chance. You're from WeWork. Which WeWork? Huh? Co-works, huh? I have an office in WeWork Kormangla. So what does WeWork say? Pay for the desk, coffee is free. Starbucks says pay for the coffee, the desk is free. It's the same concept. It's just that it's working. And what was the big problem between Airtel and their brothers and Jio? Airtel said pay for voice, data is free. So this guy said pay for data, voice is free. Just turned it around. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's the same thing. But before him, there was somebody else. There's a guy called Tata Docomo. What did he say? Before Tata Docomo came, I would, Sweta, right? I would call Sweta, are you coming to class or not? She's mostly going to say no. So that's it. 10-second conversation with Sweta and they would bill me for 30 seconds. So Tata Docomo said, why should I bill you for 30 seconds for a 5-second call? So we will bill you for 5 seconds. That was a brilliant idea. Has anything changed? Nothing has changed. Somebody has just played with the emotions of the person. So they started. So you see the same promotion, same product, the promotion. What do? You change the rules of the game. That's the way you get better of your competition. The third thing that we have is the same product, but the promotion is that driver. How many of you have kids at home? This is probably the best example. The summer holidays comes, they boost say badminton racket free. Now your children love boost or the badminton. So what's being sold? What is being sold is the promotion, not the product. Not the product. I know, I mean, I don't have kids as young as this. So I know, but the Kinder Joy, I'm told that they throw away the chocolate and play with the toy. Right? It happens all the time. And wives fly free. There was an ad, there was a promotion by the airline company saying that, hey guys, if you're traveling on business, wives fly free. That program was 100% hit, but none of the wives knew about it. So you can imagine what they did. Okay. Second, wasn't that a brilliant idea by Samsung to say that we'll do one screen replacement free? Do you think they're doing charity? They built it in the cost, but they gave you that confidence in case it fell down. So again, you need to change the rules of the game to be in business, right? Then, oh, what is the time? Oh, we need to run. Product is fine. The pricing is brilliant. Tata Nano. Perfect product. I personally believe it's a great product. 1 lakh for the car, was a great idea, but you cheesed off the buyer. What did he tell the buyer? Poor guy, you're driving a scooter, you don't have money for a car. I'll give you a car for 1 lakh. Is that how you sell a product? I feel sorry for you. So the moment I see Sanjay having a nano, kya Sanjay, kya ho gaya? Pay cut ho gaya kya? Is what I'm going to ask him, right? So what he should have done is that you should have been proud of the nano you have. You should have said, sir, I'm driving the nano because I don't want to populate the road. I'm driving the nano because I care for the environment. A wrong message resulted. So, and imagine Tata was not able to convey a proper image. Probably do one more and then we move on to it. We'll ignore this. This one, this is probably the best example I can give you. Every one of us had a nano. Had a Nokia phone. I grew up with Nokia phones. And I had a phone, I don't know what was that model, with a very basic model. It had only 100 contacts to be added. So the, 1111. So if I'm going to add Sanjay, I have to get rid of it. So it was a big challenge. That was point number one. Today, unlimited contact. And second part is not that. I used to travel a lot and I used to have this Maruti van is the only way the taxis were there. And the Maruti van had a, it's a sliding door. So I have my suitcase in the old airport, on the old airport. I have the suitcase, I have the mobile in my hand. I would slide the door, zoom, the mobile will go flying. It'll break up into 3 pieces. Least worried, I'll just patch them up and it's working. Brilliant product. But why is it dead? Because it refused to listen to the customer. Nokia said Symbian is the brilliant software. You cannot beat it. We said, sir, I want double SIM. Why do you want double SIM? Nobody wants double SIM. No, I want it. But Nokia refused to come up with double SIM. And so you have what it is. If you don't listen to the market would not care for you. That is what it is. And eventually, my love for that product was so much that sometime Nokia also came up with an Android phone. So I bought for my wife a Nokia phone and it came with a charger. The charger had a 3-pin. Now, isn't that crazy that they don't even know in Indian homes, there are very few 3-pin points. We only have a 2-pin point. Why can't Nokia think that this point doesn't? And so half the places in my house, you cannot put it for charge. Don't listen to your customer, you are dead. This is what it is. So finally, products that failed, I will not hang on there for too long. I need to give you one more story and then we'll move forward. So let's discuss. Okay, then let me give you 5 minutes of this and then we'll move. Kellogg's failed. Kellogg's failed initially. Actually, Godrej had Ganga as a soap brand name. When they introduced Ganga was so miley, Ganga was so dirty. So you don't want to give a name of a dirty river. I mean, of course, there is a great symbolic importance to Ganga, but then it didn't do well. Kellogg's is a brand leader, right? That's how 90% of the world, the Americans have for breakfast. So imagine having Kellogg's cornflakes for breakfast. The moment, how do we have our milk? We have our milk hot. That's the Indian way. I'm sure your mom will never allow you to have cold milk. So the moment you put hot milk onto Kellogg's, it becomes soggy. Kellogg did not even do a basic research. Of course, they have modified themselves today and they're a leader. But if you don't understand your customer, you are dead. I was thinking of asking you guys a few examples of companies that failed. You know any companies that failed? Huh? Kodak, brilliant. HMT, yeah, very true. They refused to adapt to technology. General Motors, why did General Motors fail? You don't have no idea, but they failed. Right, right. Okay. General Motors failed because they refused to even think about how the customer wants anything. Anybody hears from here? Very quiet there.
HCL.
Yeah, Kingfisher. Yeah, yeah. Who is that online? Go
So
ahead.
I'm Prajwal, sir.
Ah,
HCL, it was a mobile company which was very famous and now just landed up like Nokia.
yeah, correct. So why do they fail? Because they refuse to connect with the customer. Okay, good. Now let's get into a little more basic marketing and its impact. How many of you know this slide? And how many of you need me to explain this slide? Understand the slide, or do you want me to explain? Understand, right? What does this slide say? If the price decreases, consumption increases. If they reduce the price of bandwidth or mobile data, you guys will do more WhatsApp, more chat, more video, more Zoom calls. Or if the price of rice decreases, you will buy more rice. Not necessarily valid for a price of fuel. That's a different discussion. We'll talk about it another day. If the price of fuel increases, we will still pay the price and travel because it's a essential commodity. We'll not get there. Don't get confused with this. So a fundamental chart says if the price of a product falls, consumption will rise. Perfect. So next slide is a definition slide. This is for you to understand what is the definition. But if you go by other example, price falls, consumption rises. Everybody knows this. Price falls, consumption falls. Crazy. What is this? Price falls, consumption falls. Why is that? So you don't doubt them. If there's something wrong, why is it that they're giving a product which is worth 10,000 rupees, they're giving it for 2,000? So moment a price falls beyond a point, you don't really trust it. There's something wrong with it, right? That's very good. Price rises, consumption rises. Why is that?
So Sudeep, here it is because they have a trust and
They
they
have
feel
a trust. Okay. What else?
and quality value. Price. So people feel that quality comes.
Okay. Wait, what is that?
Quality comes with price. So people will
Okay,
feel that
okay.
there is more quality.
Supply. No, there's no, we don't assume the supply curve here. There's unlimited supply, but the price has increased.
Sir, show off. Argha this side,
Show
sir.
off. Yeah, somebody is saying show off. And
The
Yes.
demand.
okay, what else? Quality. That's an assumption or a fact. Just because I increase the price by 20%, you're saying I have increased the quality by 20%? That's an assumption, maybe, right?
Because of brand.
Okay. Now so listen very carefully. We're getting into a slightly more, I need to have you guys muted. Okay. Now I want you to pay attention because you're getting into a next round of discussion. There is something called Griffin Goods. Griffin Goods are those items in which the consumption rises when the price rises. There are Griffin Goods, but there are also Veblen Goods. Where is Veblen Goods? Let me see if I can find Veblen Goods here. Veblen Goods. There are two kinds of goods, both of which are behaving against popular assumption. That means price rise and there is a increase in demand. There is a small difference between the two, and I want you to pay very keen attention to this conversation. Griffin Goods are those low value items. They are low value items which when the price increases, people will buy more. looks very strange. Low value items where the price increases, people will still buy. That's because people will buy those items sacrificing something else. Meaning, I'll give you one example and listen to this very carefully. Is that if the price of rice, rises, if so a house buys 40 kilos of rice and 10 kilos of wheat. The general assumption is rice is an essential part of our life and wheat is a general good. Okay. So now I have only $400 in my income. So what do? I buy 40 kilograms of rice and I buy 10 kilograms of wheat and my expense is $400. Now the rice manufacturer increases the price of rice by $1. So it becomes $6. If I pay, I'll have to pay $440. That's beyond my income capability. I only have $400. So what do? I have to reduce my consumption of wheat, and hence I will make up for that lower consumption of wheat by buying more quantity of rice, because my definition of rice being an essential item is there. So I will still buy actually 43 kilos of rice instead of 40, but I'll sacrifice on the wheat. So that is called a Griffin Goods. Griffin Goods works, and you'll be asked questions on this. Griffin Good works on a lower quality goods or a lower price goods. But Veblen goods are very different. Veblen goods are those which are luxury items, like the apple or a bottle of wine or any other services. Veblen goods are positional goods, meaning that the very fact that you have it, you're proud of it. And everybody knows that the prices of cars have gone up, or the price of fine quality wine has gone up. You will actually buy it because you want to demonstrate that you are buying a positional good. You like going and buying something just because the price of gold has increased. And what's your name? Shweta. So price of gold has increased. Shweta wants to go and buy. Just to tell our friends that I can afford it. I don't really care about it. So those are Veblen goods. So I hope you guys understand the difference between Veblen goods and goods. So now there is one more definition to marketing. That price to consumption curve becomes non-linear. Why? Because Veblen goods are marketed better. So the price to consumption is non-linear because of the word marketing. So these are additional definitions of the word. What's the time? 4 o'clock. Any questions so far? Any questions? Now let's look at some more points. Do you know Richard Branson?
Sir, can you please say about the Griffin Goods once again?
Which one?
Griffin Goods.
Griffin Goods.
Yeah.
Griffin Goods are those low quality goods. Your breakfast includes 2 idlis and 1 vada. Okay, you know that the vada is for your tongue, the idli is for your stomach. Now, so now let's say the price of idli goes up. What will you do? You will sacrifice the. That's what is. So what will you do? You'll eat 3 idlis and say no to vada. That's very, very basic definition of.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? But
Yeah,
don't give this example in the exam.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So now what about, let's say, do you know, what about Elon Musk? Anybody knows Elon Musk?
Yes, sir. Sudeep here.
And
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Tesla
Starlink,
CEO,
CEO.
SpaceX.
SpaceX. So the moment I say Elon Musk, you start associating him with certain brands. These are those kind of people. Let's say, I'll give you one more name and let's see if you can tell me. I'm forgetting. Let's say in Chandrasekhar. But I gave you some other name. I'm sure you would not be able to associate the name and the company. So maverick CEOs are those. The name itself is a marketing. For example, Steve Jobs. The moment I say Steve Jobs, start looking what comes to your mind when I say Steve Jobs. Not just
iPhone.
Apple iPhone 13 or the Mac M1, because they are marketing even when they are dead. These CEOs are those kind of CEOs who are always marketing, always marketing. Now comes the other subject beyond brands. Now, which company would you miss if it just vanished from this earth? Most likely there could be companies like Apple, right? So now look at this. Why has this guy got a sticker on his laptop and why the other guy doesn't have a sticker?
Because it's Apple.
How
Because
many
the other
of
one
them
is
will,
Windows.
how many of them will actually put a sticker on their Apple laptop? Nobody.
No one.
Okay, nobody. If I had an Apple Watch, I would be saying, okay, guys, we have another 15 minutes. Okay, right? Yeah, because I want to show it. That's the power of the brand. That's the power of the brand. I'll give you another example. Now let's pick up somebody else. So what's your name? Suresh. Okay, now Suresh is actually traveling from Bangalore to, where do you want to travel? Australia. Okay, chalo. हमें क्या जाता है? जाना है तो जाओ. So he's going to Australia. He's finished immigration. He's finished security check. He's actually running late because his RT-PCR test did not go well. so he's there, and last boarding announcement is going on. Lots of people in the airport for other gates. He's on gate number 8, but there is gate number 7 and 9 on either side. There are hundreds of people, and they are announcing, Suresh, last gate. Which city in Australia? Somewhere you want to get out of home. You don't want to get out of home, right? That is the intention. So what he does, he's a guy, sit down, and he wants to show the very hardworking guy. Last time, gets up, opens his laptop, checks for the latest mail, make sure that everybody looking at his laptop, and shuts it. What's the brand of the laptop? Do you think he'll do it with a Lenovo? That's the power of the brand. That's the power of the brand. That is what it is. Imagine wearing US Polo t-shirts. I give you a Ramraj t-shirts. Or there's no way. Why? What's wrong? US Polo is the Ramraj of America. Or a diesel, a kerosene lagao. So it doesn't happen, right? So that is the power of marketing. At the end of our class, you should be able to define what is marketing and how do you put it to better use. The user promotes the brand here. Do you think Apple is going to get Shah Rukh Khan to come and present it? No way. No way. They don't need it. Shah Rukh Khan says, I'm an Apple user. Right? That is the power of, that is what the brand is. It becomes an addict. You'll have people with Harley Davidson tattooed on their hands. That's to show. Then do you think what do you think is the budget of Harley Davidson on the marketing budget? Virtually not marketing, but advertising budget would be virtually zero, because all of you are walking around and flaunting the brand, right? Flaunting the brand. So this is what it is. Now, so dislike marketing. Now, if you've understood so much of it, what is bad about marketing and what is good about it? So what is bad about marketing? Let's have the discussion. It's a discussion. We need to spend 10 minutes on it. I'm not moving till virtually one section of this classroom has answered. At least 4 or 5 of you have answered. Good about marketing and bad about marketing. The slide number 60 has all the answers. I mean, not necessarily answers, but gives you an idea. So what is good or bad about marketing? Bad is you.
Bad is
is
they can
you.
sell anything.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's have him finish. Bad is. Okay. Fair enough, but go ahead and still further refine it. For something that you may not even. Okay, that's one thing. What else is good or bad about marketing? Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Online. Yeah.
It's not Mr. Sir. My name is Ananya.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. I was saying that it's a lot of cost is involved with marketing. So you
So
end up
marketing
spending.
involves cost.
Yes.
And what happens to the cost? How do the companies take care of the cost?
Well,
Complete it, Ananya, right?
yes.
Yeah, so complete the sentence. Marketing involves cost.
Mhm.
And do you think that what do the companies do with the extra expenditure?
Not sure.
What do they do with it?
They charge on the customer.
They add it into the
No, they
cost
added to
of
the
the
value of
product.
the product.
They
Yes.
call it
yes.
so that's brilliant. Very good. 2 bad remarks on marketing in a marketing class. Shabash. Very good. You guys will. So now, kuch to
I
acha
feel,
bolo.
sir, I feel marketing, I won't say I dislike, but the assumption from any organization or any small organizations are majorly, if you start marketing, like immediately your brand will be like go from 0 to 100. But I think that disadvantage is that there is a process, there is a time for a certain thing to happen. I think currently we are not getting the time. As a marketer, personally, I face that problem. So I feel the knowledge or the the industry knowledge is very less, other than the marketers. I think that is what the problem is.
Right. So now give me good things about marketing.
Good things.
Hey, hang on. Bueller is talking.
Okay.
Hey, come on, yeah. It'll be hard to. Who's your end customer? No, give me one example. Sector. So that rice mills is your end customer. So what does the rice mill guy benefit from your marketing? He knows that there's such a product available. If there were no marketing, you would not even know that there was a product like this. Yeah, if there was no marketing. So that's one good thing about marketing. Any other good thing about marketing?
Hi, this is Mahesh.
Also,
Yes. Like, hang on. You continue. Local. I mean, I have to give. I mean, I'm still have to get used to a two-way system. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So you are telling, as Mr. Lifeboy, that if you all soaps, let's move from soaps to perfumes. What is that? act. You're saying that if you have spray a few puffs of act, you will be surrounded with bees, right? That's marketing, right? Correct. That's marketing. That's good part of marketing. Gives you a dream, but whether you're surrounded with bees or ants is a different thing. Fair enough. What else is good about marketing?
Well, sir,
Basic. I want you to hang on. I'm going to get everybody to give me one answer. And that's only possible if you go back to my conversation with you, in which I said we were hunters and gatherers. We were ruled by kings who thought that the world was only 10 inches by 10 inches, and I had to drag it. And then they came up with credit. I said, what was good about credit? So what was your answer? Credit increased the size of the economy. So what does marketing do?
Market share.
So
revenues. It allows you to spend, and not all spending is bad. All spending is good, right? Yeah. So what else is marketing good about?
Well, sir, you'll need a marketing department which will create more jobs.
Yes. It's a win-win situation. So that I asked you, how did you guys join this course? So there was a marketing. So let's say I'm going to get you to answer a slightly different subject, and we'll discuss that subject in the third class. I have actually the dean of this executive MBA program asked me, how do I promote this MBA classes? How do I make them aware? So I told him I have a brilliant idea. So what is that brilliant idea? I said, sir, let's have 2 small helicopters go on top of Bangalore and we will throw leaflets. Why are you laughing? So I'll throw leaflets. 10,000, 100,000 leaflets will fall all over Bangalore and we'll have 50,000 students joining us. Is that a great idea? Why? There are a lot of cost involved. That's one. We have no shortage of money, by the way. As long as you pay your fees in time. What is that? Risk? No, the helicopters are ISI certified. So now tell me what it is.
The right.
What if it falls in a place where it's not
Good. What is that? Hang on. Shit. No, everybody is literate. Everybody reads. I'm giving you the answer. Everybody reads.
We can't focus
Who's
on
that?
the
Who's
target
that?
audience.
Somebody said, hang on. Somebody said relevant. So exactly. So I'm going to throw out 1 million of these things. But out of that 1 million, there are only 500 people who qualify for this program. And what is the possibility of these 500 people have run over it? They could be just driving on that leaflet and gone, right? You have that. So what we are discussing is the next subject is that not every market is effective unless and until you know how to reach and whom to reach. That is what is the most important thing. Just because you have money, you don't put up, right? So what is good about marketing and what is bad about marketing is here. It's like makes you spend more than you can afford. That is what it is. Which phone do you have? Huh? Which one there? Which iPhone is that? Huh? 13, man. What are you doing with it? So that's the latest one. Why are you having an inferior phone? Go change it tomorrow if you want to attend the classes. Okay. But sir, I don't have money. There, Mr. Credit will give you the loan. So brand differentiation where it does not exist. Example of brand differentiation where it doesn't exist. Bisleri versus Kinley versus this. There used to be a brand called Manik Chand mineral water. And what was his ad? More oxygen per liter. If you have more oxygen, you're going to die. Okay, oxygen has to be H2O only. That is water. You cannot have any other composition. So they are more salt per gram. Namak mein kya farak? But you create that brand. Which salt do you use for cooking? Oh, wow. So you see, she's saying that Tata is branding on any other kind of equality. So you see what happens. Branding where it doesn't exist. How can you have differentiation between salts? There's a fundamental product or water. So that is one thing. Second is you don't care for the earth or the safety. How do you get rid of your old phone? How do you get rid of your things? The kind of packaging that's involved, the kind of material that is things, they care a damn about it. Second is promote materialistic lifestyle. When was the last time you shopped in Amazon? Last week. What have you been doing whole week? I mean, I'm just saying, is that they encourage you to shop more. Materialistic lifetime. You should buy more dresses. You should, I mean, all the time. Now, my wife, kind of a little late in her life, enjoyed the benefits of online shopping. And she was virtually going to Myntra, Amazon, Jaipur, Meesho. And just last week, she told me I deleted all the apps. Okay, so they promote you. The moment you have it, haven't you seen that? They promote the materialistic lifestyle. Imagine I want to go and buy, I want to go and buy a movie ticket. The moment I go to book my show, limited seats filling up very fast. I mean, just filled up with air, nothing else. The seats are empty. So they push you to an extent of this. That's a bad, illegal. Who cares about it? We want you to provide all the pan paraks and those gutkas and smoking. It's illegal. But who cares? I'm not here for this. I'm here to make money. What is my intention? My intention is profitability. I am not here to save the earth or to make him happier. My is let him become a drug addict. I don't care. I have to make my living. So illegal. Social discrimination. Like IPL sitting, you buy 10,000 rupees IPL ticket. They allow you to sit next to the cricketers or whatever it is, but just kind of a difference. So these are what makes marketing a bad thing. But marketing is good, and definitely it's good. What is good? Builds and upgrades lifestyle. We know what is good about it, the new features that bring it. Promote business and trade by default, like he said. The more you buy, the more economy goes. If they stopped buying, half our jobs would be lost. Half our jobs would be lost. Because if people don't buy, why do you need us then? What do we do with it? It generates jobs. Awareness. Vaccination program is nothing but a major marketing campaign. Polio is a major marketing campaign. If they were not to market it, we would still be a country with having major polio cases. Amitabh Bachchan is coming, and I even can recall the act. Do Boond, and then it's all freedom.
Zindagi ke.
Do Boond. Why is it that you recall it?
Exactly.
That's a marketing campaign. That's a pure marketing campaign.
Because they're using Amitabh Bachchan's voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because it's Amitabh Bachchan, you probably feel that much more confident to use it. So social marketing, obesity and diabetes. I mean, don't eat more, watch your health levels. What is your BMI index? All of these. And reviving graying audience is just to tell you that old forgotten musics are back, old forgotten things are back. So this is what is marketing and dislike of marketing. I hope you guys get it. So now, what is marketed? Goods are marketed, services are marketed, events are marketed, persons are marketed. Let's look at examples. What is example here? Here or here? Yeah. City. Visit Dubai. It's a beautiful campaign for, again, what is that? God's own country. It's a beautiful campaign towards asking you to visit there. Person, I'm going to give you 101 example. This guy is a popular singer. Or Qatar 2022 is a football event. Marketing it. Or end polio now. And of course, Modi is there marketing himself all the time. So nothing wrong with it. He's doing it. And that's what it is. And so now there is the bad social concept of marketing. I want you to start thinking from where you began, that marketing is a good thing. Marketing does good for our lives. So with this, any other discussion that you want to have on marketing, or are we done? Okay, or the good or bad? We still have two graphs, my friend. So before we move to the next cycle, I want you to understand what is a product life cycle. What is a product life cycle? Every product has life, like human being. We have our initial phases of our childhood. We need to be nurtured by our parents. We need to be taken care. And then we have those bubbling teenage years where we're doing great jobs. Then we have a maturity period. Finally, old age catches up with all of us. That's it. Correct. That's what happens to all of us, right? So I hope we are not in that phase now, all of us, right? So a typical example, Colgate tooth powder. I don't think anybody wants to really use it. Now you have namak is toothpaste mein namak and all those things. There are a lot of such examples which come up. These are product life cycles. Spending too much of time on this because most of us knew it even before entering the MBA class. But unless and until you believe that we need to discuss it, I can do that. But again, I told you, our class is about going beyond the basics. This is for you to read if you don't know what is product life cycles. But the world has changed. The world has indeed changed from product life cycles. Most of the products that we use are apps, or most of the products that we use have a different definition of what the products are. We are using Netflix. We are using UPI payment gateways. What else is there? Something here? I just want to take those examples. Okay. So now the new definition of a product life cycle is called the law of diffusion of innovation. What does that mean? Let's say you come up with an app, some unique app. For example, whatever it is. Let me look at some latest gizmo which is hanging around. What do you think is the latest gizmo? Let's say something. Can you? I guess Alexa is a bit of an old thing already now, but something. Okay, let's stick to Alexa for that matter. So when Alexa got introduced, there was immediately 2.5% of the targeted market. Alexa was introduced in India and they said, we have a potential of 10 million customers. The moment Alexa got introduced, 2.5% of them jumped and bought the product. Why do they jump and buy the product? Because they are called the innovators. They have nothing else to do. They have plenty of money. They are the first to go and buy some things. Now, if Amazon gets delighted about the 2.5% who bought it very quickly, and Amazon thinks their product is a super success, no. 2.5% of the market always buys. I was the first to go and buy that Wi-Fi electric bulb. Oh, that they gave me, it got 256 colors. One day I was sitting at home and only playing with all those 256 colors, trying to switch it off and on of it. But what happened to that bulb? I don't know where it is now. So just because 2.5% of the people bought it, the company cannot assume that it's a hit. As a matter of fact, people don't even trust those 2.5%. If, for example, I belong to the 2.5%, Reddy or he is going to tell me, hey, just because Ramesh buys, don't buy it here. The guy is just buying left, right, and center. Let's not trust him. So that is called the innovators. Then comes what is called the early adapters. Who are those early adapters? Early adapters are those. M-Fine is what I thought was an example. M-Fine is that medical app. So I put it here. Early adopters are those who don't rush to buy, think about it for some time, and then they buy the product. Now, they constitute about 13.5%. But early adopters are those whom the company loves. They'll go to such an extent to do the best for him, because the early adopters are the major influencers. Just because Sweta bought, we are 100% sure that, hey, she has done a lot of research before buying. If Sweta has had it, I think we should also do it. Right? That's the kind of a guarantee that we have. So we have a situation where the market reaches 13.5%. When the market reaches 13.5%, that is called the tipping point. At that position, the product is a super hit. Because you've crossed that stage, the early adopters are virtually wiping out and converting early majority people to buy the product. Now, for example, I'm sure all of us have Netflix and something else in our mobile, or we have a connection or subscription. But I guess none of us had it about 4 years back or 5 years back. We're not very sure. As a matter of fact, 7, 8 years back, we'll spend another 5 minutes. Okay, 7, 8 years back, somebody came to me with an OTT platform as a business investment. I said, nobody's going to buy it. But I was wrong. So 13.5% are those who confuse. I mean, who actually influence the buyers. Now Netflix is early majority. But there are going to be a lot of those people who don't trust Uber. I still don't, I mean, none of us belong to that class, but there are the elderlies and there are the ones who are saying, hey, you know what? Today I took my first Uber ride. Are you going to be excited if I tell you that I came to class today with Uber? Then what kind of a marketing professor is he? You're a late majority guy. You're a late majority guy. The company doesn't even care for you. The early adopters are the ones who get the best discounts. The early adopter is the one whom Uber ride, you had one ride, they'll give you one more free. You remember we had those things about 7, 8 years back, but now they don't give you any. Then there are laggards. Laggards are the one who will never change. Still sticking on to Doordarshan and all that stuff, or still don't believe that you should use an ATM card. So if all of you have grown up thinking about product life cycles, I believe this is another way to look at things. Okay. With this, we are done. We have any end of the class discussion. We'll spend another minute or two on the clock, 4:30. Anything to talk about? No? Tired? No? Okay, good. Right. See you in whenever the next class. Okay. So before the next class, we're going to have a Google form just to revise what you've done. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Sir,
you.
bye,
you, sir.
everyone.
Goodbye. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Sir.
guys.
Thank you, sir.